Richie. What's going on?
Well, Jack, we're obviously only less than an hour removed from your UFC debut win. So what are the emotions now that you got this big win here in Perth, sold out arena and everything?
Yeah, I'm just wrapped. Come in with a home crowd for the UFC debut, and I knew the reception was going to be big, but I don't think anybody, myself included, knew it was going to be like that. I felt like I was in the Coliseum out there. So to walk out and connect with the crowd like I did, and then put on a performance like I did, I'm super happy, and I'm under no misconceptions that there's things that I could have done better tonight. But, you know, for a UFC debut, I think that puts me in real good stead to be on an upward trajectory and keep making moves in the game.
What do you think you could have done better in this one?
I think when I'm on top, probably similar to my last fight, to be honest, I feel like when I'm on top, I need to get a little bit better at using my control to leverage some shots, some big elbows from top, maybe get a bit more damage done on top and force people to turn their back for me rather than waiting for them to do it. Again, I think that's a pretty small thing that I can fix. I think I've got the control down pat from a lot of positions. Maybe gave a little bit too much respect in certain areas, but yeah, I just want to go back with my coaches. Also, maybe with my striking, get my straight punches a little bit sharper, follow the ones with a few more twos. But it's all basic stuff. You just take every fight as it comes and try and pick the things that you can improve without looking at yourself and only looking at the bad stuff.
I feel like entering this fight, we all kind of knew the game plan, just kind of beat the legs up a whole bunch. Were you surprised that Don was able to take that much damage and he kept trying to fight back? Yeah,
well, I just saw him then, and he's on his way to the hospital to get an x-ray. They think it's broken, so that's another one.
Is that 4 legs now?
That's 5. So, you know, it's no secret what I'm out there to do. I'm out there to do damage, and I've got these big tree trunk thighs, and I plan to use them.
It also looked like when you blasted him up the middle at the ends, he kind of shoved you away. Do you think he just didn't hear the thing, or do you think he was rattled?
He apologized immediately, so I think it maybe rattled him a little bit right as the bell went, and he kind of was a bit disoriented, and then he kind of pushed me like, why aren't you fighting still? And the ref was like, fight's over, G. And he was like, fuck, sorry, man. So yeah, that was all right. But, you know, Don's a G. He flew all the way from the east coast of America to the west coast of Australia, and, you know, that's a tough flight to make. And we were talking yesterday about how hard it is to make a living doing this, and he had a friend who paid for one of his own plane tickets, and then his old man came out, and I just spoke to them then, so I wish them nothing but the best.
So moving forward, now that you have your first win under your belt, what do you want the rest of your year to look like?
Oh, I said at the start I want to come in and I want 3 or 4 fights this year. So I've got teammates fighting for belts in 2 weeks. I've got teammates fighting for belts in 3 weeks. So I'm going to get back in the gym, and whether my leg allows me to train or whether maybe I just take more of a coaching role for the next week or 2, I'm going to help them. I think at Absolute we're going to have another 2 guys at least on Contender Series this year in Khan Offley and Joseph Luciano. So I'm back in the gym to help them. And, yeah, I want to get back to the United States in May or June for another fight. I'd love to do Madison Square Garden or T-Mobile Arena.
Jackie, mate, do you feel like a 2-trick pony now?
Nah, I got a few more than 2 up the sleeve, but, you know, at least I just don't have that one outside trip. But, yeah, happy with showing a little bit more off.
Now, how was the reception from the boys back home? Bacchus Marsh obviously travelled from Victoria all the way to Western Australia. You're not a hometown boy in Perth, but can you explain?
Did I feel like I wasn't a hometown boy out there?
It did not. It felt like this was Bacchus Marsh.
Yeah, it was incredible. Even everyone from Perth, you know. Jack Dalla is the real hometown boy, so I'm excited to see the crowd pop off when he gets there. I think all of you guys, when you come to Melbourne and you see me walk out in Melbourne, that's going to be another level again, because that's my place. And it was a great reception, but I think you see me walk out at somewhere like Rod Laver Arena. Our gym's about 300 metres up the road from there, so it's going to be really nuts.
Now, you tried to get me to pressure the UFC to get the performance from 50K to 100K. Do you think, though, that you'll get to you were in the running for performance of the night?
Look, probably not, to be honest. You got to be realistic with yourself here. There's some big fights coming up. I think maybe, I don't know, has there been any real banger fights or not? Somebody can tell me.
Yours right up there, Jamie Malarkey.
Am I top fight of the night so far? Right, well, fuck. The main card always kind of pushes. You get more value on the main card, though, don't you? If anything, I'm a realist, boys, so I'm happy with my show and win, and I'll take that home.
And finally, just for people that don't know, can you run through quickly the Ben P story, and did he give you any tips for this fight?
Yeah, so the Ben P story, before my Contender Series fight, I had this kid from Perth message me on Instagram in my DMs, and he said, "Hey, mate, I've watched every single one of Freddie Linares' fights, and he's only lost one, and it was because he got cut above his eye, and the doctor stopped it." And he sent me this screenshot from a Peruvian MMA website. It was all in Spanish. This kid's from Perth. He's not reading Spanish. And it's just a photo of Freddie with his eye split open. He goes, "So I reckon if you hit him in the eye, it'll open up." And I remember on top, and I landed this big elbow, and his eye just split. And I went, "Fuck, Ben P was on the money." So yeah, I sorted Ben P and his dad tickets for the fights today, so they were out there and they got to watch it. It was pretty cool.
Awesome. Congrats, Jack.
Thank you.
Yeah. You said mentality-wise, like before the Contender Series, you were as bad as you got. How did you deal with it this morning? Like, what was the emotions this morning, the nerves?
I think it was probably, I said to, I was trying to be a bit more honest with my coaches because I just lied through my teeth to them in Vegas. I was like, "No, I'm good. And I wasn't good. So I tried to be a bit more honest with them this morning. I said to my coach, Andy, I said, "Hey, I feel a bit more jittery than normal." And he said, "It's a bit bigger than normal. Just take it on board." And as soon as I feel sorry for my poor brother, my favorite way to get ready for a fight is to spar. And I put those little 4-ounce gloves on and I just beat the shit out of him for, 3-minute rounds before the fight. And he just stood there and copped it. So thank you, Benny. But that makes me feel nice and relaxed. So when I went out there, I felt pretty loose and fluid.
You sure you want to fight in New York? It's a lot of taxes there.
Lots of taxes in New York. Hey, look, my money's going to come for me over the course of my career. I'm going to get the money one way or another. So a few taxes here and there to get on the big show doesn't bother me.
You made a funny face there at the end when the scorecards were getting read out. What was that about?
29-28. What? Who? Like what? Did the second round? I mean, he had Mount for 30 seconds, and I don't know how you could score that. Not 30-27. That's bizarre to me. What do you think?
We had an interview in here while your fight was on, so only corporates.
Yeah, right. No, it was clearly 30-27. I'll watch it back and I'll apologise if I was wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was a 30-27. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.